Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good afternoon. Good morning and good afternoon. Good morning and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits because another day above the dirt is always be a blessing. Okay? Let's not forget that door. Let's not forget that. Hopefully you guys are all doing well out there. We got some things we got to get into a conversation about. And then I think after that, we might venture into a few news topics. But we are here for one main topic and one conversation only. And we gotta. You know what I mean? We gotta talk about this. So we're gonna talk about this, okay? Because this is very interesting. And I know that there's been a lot of people asking me to talk more about this particular investigation, this case, and all that. So we're going to talk about it all and then some on this show right here. Okay? And we may do a little bit of later on, maybe some coverage on the damage in Jamaica. All right? Because we definitely need to look into that and talk about that as well. There's a lot going on. There's so many different things to talk about. And I'm telling you right now, that's why I'm going live, because I was like, I don't know what to talk about because there's so many different things to talk about. Okay? So, and of course, I wanted to get this live in before I couldn't do one later on today. You know, just how schedules and life be lifing. All right. So do me a favor, please, and thank you. Hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. Please don't forget to do that. And if you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, let's not forget to hit that follow button. Follow on all my platforms, especially y'all. If you are watching on YouTube and you haven't been watching and keeping an eye on what's going on the Facebook, you definitely need to go and follow the Facebook page. Please and thank you. Make sure you are doing that. Okay? Subscribe here, though. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is where all the stuff is going. A lot of it's getting filtered in here, but there's a lot of information going on my Facebook page. A lot of stories going bang, 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 bang. We working out here. Okay, so make sure you're following. Make sure you're subscribed here. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there. Of course, check out Pascal Raw. There's more coming on that platform as well. So make sure you're subscribed to all three platforms on my YouTube. On the YouTube platform, hit that notification bell. Set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload. That'd be greatly appreciated. Please and thank you. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, we got fire stuff over there. So go to my YouTube channel or to the Pascal merch page. Go check it out, dagnabbit, because the stuff over there is fire. I don't know how else to say it to you. So make sure you're checking out PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys. Woo! We got to get into it, my dear God. Here, like I said, as soon as I start going live on or start to record something else happens. As soon as I go live on something else happens. It just is what it is. The news has been pumping out like crazy as of late, and we are going to be. I'm going to try a little bit later on if I can squeeze in the time to chat with you guys about some other things that are going on in the world. But hold on one second, because I did get something here, and I want to make sure it is, if it's something. Oh, Lord. Hold on one second, guys. Eesh. Okay. Okay. Well, here's some random left turn news real quick before we go into what we're here to talk about. Okay. And again, sorry about this, but this is all just breaking news information and I'm probably going to I'm just going to say it now and then probably send it to myself to talk about here in a tad bit. But hold on. Trying to email this to myself so I have it. But apparently, King Charles III, King Chuck. Anyway, he's going to be evicting Prince Andrew from his royal residence and strip him of all of his titles. Just so you know, this is what the palace is saying right now as we speak. So King Charles is stripping his disgraced brother, Prince Andrew, of his remaining titles and evicting him from his royal residence after weeks of pressure to act over Andrew's relationship with that monster, the EpiPen. Sorry, Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. So the Buckingham Palace just said today that the king has initiated a formal process to remove the style, titles, and honors of Prince Andrew. Okay. Hold on. I got to pull this up. This just broke. This is breaking news right now as we speak. So I had to email it to myself. All right. Because we need to see this for our own selves. Before we get into everything, I didn't know this was going to happen, but I'm smiling. I'm smiling. I'm smiling about this. Okay. F that dude. Straight up. F that mother-loving dude. Take a look at this. I'm not kidding. King Charles the Third, okay, will evict Prince Andrew from his royal residence and strip him of his titles. The palace has made that announcement. Sorry. This makes me smile. Like, if they're not going to get him, if justice ain't going to get him one way, it better get him another way. All right? It better get him another way. Virginia Giuffre is jumping up and down right now, spiritually. Okay? Shout out to her. Shout out to Virginia Giuffre. But this is fire. Let's take a look at this, shall we? All right? Real quick. Sorry for the left turn. All right? This came out. This is breaking news. All right? Breaking news. So, like I just read to you guys, so I'm just going to repeat it again. All right? King Charles the Third, okay, is stripping his disgraced brother, Prince Andrew, of his remaining titles and evicting him from his royal residence after weeks of pressure to act over Andrew's relationship with S.O., that monster, Jeffrey Epstein. Buckingham Palace said Thursday, today, that the king has, quote unquote, initiated a formal process to remove the style, titles, and honors of Prince Andrew. So, from this moment henceforth, he shall be decrowned and be known forever as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. And not as a prince. So he'll just be a regular Joe Schmo. He Andy now. Okay? He Andy. And he will move from his Royal Lodge residence into private accommodation. So yes, he is just nothing but a regular feeble peasant. He shall eat cake from henceforth. Pressure had been growing on the palace to oust the prince from Royal Lodge after he surrendered his use of the title of Duke of York. Duke of York. I know it's Duke of Earl, but you know what I mean. Earlier this month over his friendship with EpiPen and allegations by one of Epi's victims, Virginia Roberts Giuffre. But the king went even further, stripping him of his title of prince that he has had since birth as a child of a monarch, the late Queen Elizabeth II. So these seizures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny the allegations against him. Oh my damn. Oh my damn. This is what the palace is saying. Do you understand? Oh my God. Hold up. Do I have a breaking news banner or something? Damn it, I don't. Okay. Damn it, Pascal. Okay. But this is breaking, man. Breaking, hear ye, hear ye. Hear ye, breaking news. Breaking news. So, continuing on, let me repeat that again because this is insane. This is clearly saying that this mother lover, the palace knows. And the fact that he's not willing to do anything, he keeps denying these allegations and not doing anything about it, right? And that he has connections to this monster. This ain't enough for me. I'm going to be real. I was laughing when it broke. I was laughing. You know what I'm saying? You saw that hearty laugh. Okay, that was kind of like a diabolical, like, you know, like I'm rubbing my hands together, diabolical laugh, like like that. But honestly, this ain't enough. Okay, this ain't enough. Okay, this ain't enough. But okay, strip him of his jewels. Strip him of his family. Whoa, his family jewels. Oh, damn. But strip him of his jewels, I say. So they say these censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny the allegations against him. This is what the palace said. Their Majesties wish to make clear that their thoughts and utmost sympathies have been and will remain with the victims and survivors of any and all forms of abuse. Good golly, Miss Molly. So good old-fashioned peasant Andy faced a new round of public opprobrium. That's a word I don't use very often. Okay. But after emails emerged earlier this month showing he had remained in contact with the EpiPen longer than he previously admitted. Oh my damn. And the truth continues to fall out. The news was followed by publication of a posthumous memoir from Virginia Giuffre, who alleged that she had relations with Andy when she was only 17 years old. So the memoir is called Nobody's Girl, detailed 3 alleged sexual encounters with Andy, who she said acted as if he believed having relations with me was his birthright. Andy, 65, nasty, has now denied Giuffre's claims, but stepped down from royal duties after a disastrous November 2019 BBC interview in which he attempted to rebut her allegations. Have you seen that interview? Have y'all seen that interview? It is so bad. It is an absolute train wreck. And he looks like an absolute fool. Ain't nobody seen that? Y'all seen it, I'm sure. Yeah. And he paid millions in an out-of-court settlement in 2025 after Giuffre filed a civil suit against him in New York. While he didn't admit wrongdoing, he acknowledged her suffering as a victim of STing. And of course, we already know what happened to her. May she rest in peace. She lost her life at the age of 41 years old. So here's the thing, guys. Sorry for a little bit of the left turn, but this is breaking news. This is just happening right now as we speak. So we have to talk about this. Okay. First off, this is fantastic news, but it's not enough. What will be enough is him behind bars. Him fully taking accountability for the actions that he did to Giuffre and the countless other women that I'm sure he's alleged of doing terrible things with as well. See, Epstein, he ain't here no more that we know of. He ain't here no more, okay? But he's still here. He's still breathing. And he's been able to live out his life enjoying all the royalties, literally, that has been bestowed upon him because he just came out the vagina that way. Lucky him that he walked out the velvet curtains into royalty. But he has been living with literally a ruby stoned encrusted spoon in his mouth. He has not truly felt the consequences of his actions yet. And when that actually does happen, we'll be here. But they ain't done yet. I hope they ain't done yet. Real talk. This is not, like I said, this is not enough for me. This mother lover needs to go down. Big time. Don't just kick him out of his nice little residence and stripping him of his titles. Make him lose all of it. Take all of his money. Make him have to work at a Burger King or something. Okay? Better yet, throw him behind bars. Make him feel it. This ain't enough, but it's good for right now. It makes me smile. Okay? It makes me smile. So we'll see what happens next. It's coming. Oh, it's coming. The fact that his own family is kicking him out. He has been banished. Do you understand that? He has been banished. Oh, no, hear ye, hear ye. Prince Andrew forevermore henceforth shall be called Andy. No more shall he be royalty. No more. This feels good. Doesn't it? A little bit? Just a little bit. But I need a little bit more. It's just not enough. It's just not enough. It's just not enough. He's a dirty boy. He's a dirty, dirty boy. Mm-hmm. Yes. Now he needs to get thrown in jail. Yeah. So, moving on, we got that breaking news. I'm happy about it to a certain extent, but I need to see more. Okay? It's funny because I thought they were only just going to strip him of his title, and that was it. That was it. Like he was just no more going to be Prince Andrew, right? Now they stripped everything from him, or, that they stripped him of Duke of York, right? They took away that, but now they took everything. So like it's almost like Superman went and said, I want to be a real person. I just want to be human. You know what I mean? Remember that movie? It was a Superman 2 when he gave up all his power so he could be with Lois Lane. And then he realized, oh, damn, being human sucks. Do you remember that? Anybody remember that? That movie? It was old. It's old. Not the new ones. The old ones. Christopher Reeve. He gave it all up so he could be with Lois Lane. Kind of like that. He's been stripped of all of his power. Like Superman really did it because he was worried about like he's constantly having to pull back every time he thrusts. He doesn't want to like pulverize Lois Lane's pelvis, So he just wanted to know what it felt like to just do the hibbity dibbity normal, right? And then he realized, man, being human kind of sucks. And then he went back to being a god. But he can't go back from this. He can't go to the crystal thing and just like, he's just Andy now. Isn't that crazy? He's just Andy. Yes, let's go. It just sucks that Virginia Giuffre had to lose her life. She lost her life, and people are looking at her saying that she's absolutely crazy. And that probably was an added piece to her depression. And now she's no longer here. And we're hearing she's speaking from the grave still with her memoir. You know, she should still be here. You know what I'm saying? It's just a damn shame, y'all. It's just a damn shame. Okay? But let's see how this transpires. Now he's just Andy. We'll see what he gets. I'm sure that he's still royalty. So I'm sure, yes, he's been stripped of his titles and all that. It's not like he's going to be like out there poor. I'm sure he's got a fair amount of, I don't know, gold coins or something like that, you know, that he can live off of. Okay? But damn, there you go. That's what you get. That's what you get, PA. Or Andy. That's what you get, Andy. That's what you get. You dirty, dirty dog. It's coming for you. It's coming. But anyway, we got to get into this other stuff, okay? Yes, Al, or all, Jill, no Jack. Oh, that's sad. No Jack. But cool. Okay, you strong. Okay, you Jill. Okay? But yes, it is a step in the right direction. All Jill and no Jack. It is. But they need to go a little bit faster. They need to go a little bit faster. Please and thank you. All right? Let's get some justice quickly. Because there's plenty of women that are stepping out and speaking out that we've been seeing as of late. And they want all of it. Now, here's the other thing, though. Before we go into this next subject, to our main topic here, I just want to point this out, all right? I think it's very interesting that we have not yet seen the files. You know exactly what I'm talking about, all right? We have yet to see those doggone files, yet you have someone of the likes of Prince Andrew. I'm sorry. Your name is Andy now, right? So now you got the likes of Andy losing all of his power and his titles and his home because of his connection and the allegations against him that have all to do with that EpiPen. So explain to me why we have not seen the Epi files yet. But he's losing his titles right now because of his connection to Epi and what he did to Virginia Giuffre. Explain that to me. Don't you think that's a little odd? There's no list. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to see here. There's no list. Breaking news. There's no list. But yet you got someone like Andy now losing everything because he happened to maybe share women. Well, he definitely did more than just that, but you get what I'm saying. So there's no list? Word? I beg to differ. So Andy, enjoy life as a normal person. It gets cold out here, y'all. It gets cold out here, Andy. Just letting you know. It gets cold. And it's about that time. It's about to get super freezing cold for you. So you better bundle up. All right? And get ready for this bumpy ass ride, because that ride ain't over yet. Oh no, it's not. So let's get into this conversation, guys. All right. I appreciate you guys. Let me get these a new member. Thank you so much. Mills, welcome. Welcome to the family, Mills and Bonita. Thank you so much for being a member for almost 2 years. Diggity damn, that's amazing, baby. Thank you so very much for being a part of the family and a part of the conversation and all of that. Okay. 1 second. I just want to make sure. Nope, I did not. Son of a, I hate when I do this. 1 second, y'all. I need to fix something really quick. Really quick, y'all. But notice and understand that sometimes justice comes very slowly. And it comes in pieces. And that's okay. You know, as long as it's served fully. That is my concern. That is definitely my concern, is that justice is served fully. May not go swift, but it's served fully. Like the likes of Sonia Massey's. Like the likes of Sonia Massey's case and trial. Just want to tap on this really quick. I did a whole short on this. This is why I say make sure you have that notification bell set to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because I'm putting up shorts, I'm putting up long formatted videos, like video on demand videos, and these lives. So, I'm putting in the work, y'all. So make sure those notification bells are set to all. But even with the Sonia Massey situation, yes, it's justice. Justice is served. But was it served fully? I have to be honest. I'm not very happy about it. I'm not. Yes, he could be locked up. But he also could be locked up, or he could also just get probation. He could see the inside of a prison cell for 20 years, a max of 20 years, or he could walk if the judge sees to that. He could get probation, and that's it. That is not full justice. Yes, Classic One, it is partial justice, and I'm not okay with that. I don't think anybody should be okay with that, especially when you see the footage yourself. And then on top of it, knowing that this guy has been in and out of departments, other police departments. He just keeps getting passed over to the next one, and the next one, for countless problems, for being him, being a butthole, being an absolute jerk, being a violent individual. And yet still he keeps coming back and getting the job somewhere else in another jurisdiction and another department. That's not good. In fact, that's on the departments as well. All of those departments should be stepping forward and taking accountability for letting that kind of monster do what he did. But you know what? Let's put this up real quick. Let's see this. Unbelievable. Let's take a look at this really quick, and then we're going to go into the main topic. I promise. But this just popped up in my head.
A guilty verdict in the Sean Grayson trial.
It's guilty. Second degree.
You hear
Tonight,
that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? They said it's guilty, and everyone's like, "Woo!" For second degree M. They're like, "What?" You heard that right?
The family of Sonia Massey says justice wasn't served.
This man should have never had a badge and a gun.
The jury's verdict came down in a Central Illinois courtroom just hours ago. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush. Kelly Jackson has the night off. Former Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson shot and killed Sonia Massey in her home last July after she called police about a possible prowler. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski has a reaction from family, and they are not content with this conviction. Laura.
No, they're not, Mike. And the reason they're not satisfied is because Sean Grayson was convicted of second-degree murder, not first-degree murder, and may not serve the maximum prison sentence either, making the family feel like justice is not fully served. On July 6th, 2024, Sonia Massey called 911 because she thought she heard an intruder outside her house.
You're clear that I'm going to give both stack to a prowler. Caller hears noises outside the house. Couldn't answer questions, hung up on us.
Sangamon County Sheriff's deputies Dawson Farley and Sean Grayson responded to her home.
Oh, we hurt you. You called us.
Things escalated when they stepped inside and she was pulling a boiling pot of water off the stove.
You better I swear to God, I'll ready to
I'm skipping ahead of this. Sorry, guys.
Actually was scared of Grayson. Grayson also testified, saying he perceived the pot of water as a threat. Those in the courtroom say he was stoic when learning the jury convicted him after 11 hours of deliberation.
Second-degree murder? That is not right. That is not justice for anybody's family, regardless of who you are and where you come from.
With the lesser charge, Grayson will only be sentenced to a maximum of 20 years in prison and could be eligible to get credit for good behavior in prison, which means he could end up serving half his sentence, a notion that Sonia's father can't fathom.
Sean Grayson should be able to get out of jail. My daughter can get out of that burial vault and walk out of Oakwood Cemetery.
When asked what Sonia would say if she were here, her father responded,
I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Sonia is the reason why we're here. And the last thing that she would say is, I love you, Daddy.
Sonia's family and advocates say the work is not over.
Now we have to do our part to make a difference and to make a change and make sure that people never forget. Say her name! Sonia Massey! Say her name! Sonia Massey!
You know what's really frustrating about this is that, all she did was call the cops. All she did was call the cops because she needed help. She did the right thing. She made a call to the police in hopes that they could check the area to make sure whatever she was hearing wasn't there and that she could go back to doing whatever she was doing, making the pasta that maybe she was making, when she was boiling that pot of water, anything. But this guy took, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, and took that to a violent level, to a threat on his life. That makes no sense. And you also got to remember, this is the same guy who instantly is somebody who is quick to anger, quick to violence. He was a constant problem in and out of multitudes of the police departments. And instead of firing him like they should have after the first time that he was doing any terminating type of activity, they just moved him to another place. And I guarantee you, listen, this is not a knock at all police officers, okay? There's a lot of great police officers out there. I want to make that abundantly clear. But if you really think about it, the amount of other ones that are actually getting tossed around because of behavioral citations, behavioral issues, etc., that are just being passed around that no one knows about until they have to know about it. And that's a problem. So I know that they started doing different things now to ensure that these kinds of officers aren't hired, that they are doing different types of background checks, especially with behavioral issues, okay? Behavioral conduct. If there's any write-ups on these particular people, they don't hide those, at least in the state of Illinois. But that's something that's starting now, which was something that should have been implemented way before that Sean Grayson ever stepped into a house of the likes of Sonia Massey's. It's a damn shame. And I hope that that judge goes in and charges him, or and sentences him a full 20. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens indeed. Okay, guys, we got to get into the conversation. All right. And of course, you guys are here for the main topic. I apologize, but there was that breaking news. Okay. Prince Andrew is now just straight up Andy, just good old fashioned normal ass Andy. Okay. But we've got to get into this conversation. I know a lot of people have been very, the Charlie Kirk situation has been quite a conversation as of late. All right. The investigation into his demise. There have been things that have gone completely off the planet. Some things have flown. Some of y'all are spinning right off the planet. Okay. I'm just going to be completely real. And some of y'all are trying to keep it practical and still just wanting to ask the questions and trying to get those questions answered. But there are some people out here, or there are some people out here that are asking the questions for us out loud. And one of those people is Candace Owens. Now, Candace Owens has had a lot to say lately. She even took some time off. She took a week off or something like that, just to breathe or whatever the heck she was doing. I don't know what she was doing. Okay. But all I know is that she took a week off. And even during her week off, she still was going online talking. In fact, what you're seeing, the title above or down below, wherever you're watching this show right here, she had already said this before. Days ago, she came out and said, hey, where's Trump in all this? Why aren't we hearing anything from Trump? Why isn't the president stepping forward and spearheading, at least doing press conferences, at least letting us know what the F is going on in this investigation? You got a guy, Tyler Robinson, who's locked up for doing what he's alleged of doing. But the evidence, I think a lot of people, including myself, are side-eyeing. Now, let me just say this. Do I think that they have their guy? Yeah, I really do think that they have their guy. But I don't think it's fully the full truth. In fact, I feel like there may be more people involved. I think that there may be other entities involved. And that is the problem. That is the issue that I have. Okay? That's the issue I have. We'll talk about that in a second. But there are a lot of questions that haven't been fully answered. And the evidence that they have given us is trash. It's not that good. Okay? It's not good. Like I said before, and in multiple videos, the text messages themselves are strange. Now, he could literally have been texting his lover, okay, his partner, Lance Twiggs. He could have very well been texting Lance Twiggs exactly that. Maybe that's how he talks. And yes, there are plenty of people out here that do talk like, how you doing, my love? Right? It's a term of endearment. It's normal. I don't think a lot of people say, I need to go and get my vehicle. But at the same time, shoot, people say all kinds of things. Some people say that to be funny. Some people say certain words to sound intelligent out of nowhere. How people do their vernacular is how they do their vernacular, right? But still, nonetheless, the text messages are a bit weird. Timeline is weird. How he got the rifle up there and down and he dismantled it. He put it back together, then he dismantled it again. And all those things seem weird. How was he able to go upstairs without being up to the roof, without being detected at all? Weird. Now, those are weird, but does that automatically mean that there's something bigger going on? Think about this. It could literally just be what it is, right? Could be the Occam razor approach, right? It could just be what we have seen so far could very well be the truth. He could have text messaged his lover, his furry trans lover, Lance Twiggs, those types of text messages going, oh, don't worry, my love. I'm coming hither. I shall return in a fortnight, whatever. Before the cock strikes crows or something like that. Whatever the hell, right? He could have been texting just like that. Very much. Very possible, right? Not super out of this world. It's a possibility. He could really have used his grandpapa's weapon. He could have really have used a 30-06 bullet. All of these things are possible. It's not like some far-fetched thing. These are all possible things. My love, as I take thy ammunition and thy artillery and take aim at the dome of this man that I hate, whatever the hell it is, right? Could very well be what it was. Or completely fabricated. Now, here's the thing, though. One thing is, and understandably, some people can't believe it was that simple. Some people can't believe it can just be that simple. Let me say that again. Some people just can't believe it could be that simple. That somebody got a rifle, went up to the rooftop of a building, took aim, pulled the trigger. That's it. It could literally be that simple. Now, I know that's going to make some people feel some type of way. Understandably, that's the reason why everyone starts asking questions. But some have gone pretty wild. Now, again, like I said, Candace Owens has been out here asking a lot of questions, and some of them have been completely off the rails. And some of them, I'm like, okay, that's a logical question to ask. One of them, I think, that's pretty logical. Not the whole thing. Let me just hold on. Time out. I'm not saying all of it, but there is a part that I'm like, okay, I can see. I get why she's asking this question. Okay. And the question is this. She's calling out Trump for apparently ignoring the investigation into Charlie Kirk's demise. It is interesting. We haven't heard anything much from him talking about any updates in the investigation into Charlie Kirk. Now, here's the thing, though. It could be a possibility of them not giving out much information because they're going to be fighting a lot of these things out in court. And they don't want to give everybody and their mama all the evidence. So I get that. You can't just give all the evidence out there. But here's the thing, though. When you got somebody losing their life in this way, losing their life in this kind of way, in such a public way, and it is a very public figure, whether you liked his stuff or not, he was a very public figure. You can't help but realize that people are going to want to have more information than what you gave them. And when you hear the general public, the court of public opinion coming back and saying, nah, man, nah, that doesn't work for me. That seems like BS to me. Then, yeah, I feel like it's kind of necessary, or it would be nice to get more information. Going basically radio silent on this situation, flatline with no information whatsoever, seems a little bit weird. It does. I get you can't give us everything, but some of it, come on now, you can give some. Here's the thing. Yesterday I talked about this, and I'm going to say it now here too. I talked about it in a pop-up video. Go and check it out. I'm not going to go into full detail over here, but I highly recommend you guys go and check it out. Okay? But one thing is very interesting. Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, the person who gave out all this information, right? The text messages, the photos of the weapon, all the stuff that we saw, right? He has been basically throwing up a wall. He pushed back on Tulsi Gabbard's own right-hand man from stopping him into investigation to see if there was some sort of foreign entity that may have been involved in pulling the trigger. That, hey, maybe Tyler Robinson didn't just pull the trigger because he was in his fifis. That maybe a foreign entity, or just an entity in general, foreign or domestic, could have been the reason why he did end up going up there and pulling the trigger. Now, let me just say this. That makes complete sense to look into that information. I think that's fair. I don't see any problem with it. But like I said, Literally, the whole thing could be what it is. What I just said at the very beginning, what we learned, that Tyler Robinson just really didn't like Charlie Kirk and he felt some type of way. And maybe he did this in honor of his boo thing, Lance Twiggs. You never know. It's a possibility. It most definitely is a possibility. But I don't see anything wrong with the investigation into finding out if there are any outside entities that inspired him to climb up, get on that roof, and take that shot. Because maybe it isn't just a love letter to Lance Twiggs. What if it is something domestic? And it has to do with some sort of, I don't know, extreme left or extreme right organization that didn't like certain things that Charlie Kirk was talking about. That's still a possibility too. So why not do an investigation into the situation? Why throw up walls? Why have a big old interview or conversation? Do a whole roundtable meeting to stop this guy from investigating. The only other thing I can think of, the only reason I can think of is because they don't want to sprinkle any possibilities of reasonable doubt into the case. That they got their guy and that's it. That maybe the FBI doesn't want to look like they may have fumbled the ball, that there may be other entities out there that should be detained and arrested right now as well. And the fact that if they found that out and that was exposed and that it was an entity bigger than Tyler, or if it was more than just Tyler in general, that there could be monsters out here running around, running amok, plotting for the next hit. Think about that. And they don't want to look dumb. Possible. Or he operated alone. But here's the other thing too. But real quick, before we go into this article, he's refusing to talk. So he surrenders, by the way. He surrenders. He turns himself in, allegedly, turns himself in. And then as soon as he turns himself in, he doesn't talk. That seems weird. He had a whole conversation with his dad, mama, and his pastor, basically saying, yeah, I did that. Well, you need to turn yourself in. Pastor, I'm sure, was like, by the grace of God, he's going to protect you, right? The right thing to do is to confess. God will be right there for you. Little Joe Osteen right there. But you see what I'm saying, right? So why would he go say, yeah, I did it, turn himself in, and then as soon as he goes in there, he doesn't start talking at all. He's just quiet. He's not cooperating with police at all. That seems a little bit weird, don't you think? Am I the only one who sees that to be weird? So he confesses to his dad and his pastor, but then as soon as he goes in and he's locked up, he tightens up. Mum's the word for this guy? Who's he protecting? Like I said, who is he protecting? Could he be protecting other people that were involved in the situation that helped them plan it out? Again, that seems a little bit weird, right? Yeah, he's getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. He's taking the 5th. He ain't saying nothing. That seems weird, right? Doesn't that seem a little bit odd? To me, it sounds like he might be trying to protect somebody else or some other people that were involved in the situation. Let's not forget the people that were online basically saying, oh, September 10th is about to go down. When you see it, you'll know it. How would they know anything? Days, weeks, months before Charlie Kirk lost his life. Like I said, very, very strange to me. That's weird. Do I think it's a foreign entity? I don't know, but I don't think he operated alone, y'all. I do not think he operated alone. Do I think it's something deeper with like the government involved? No, I don't. I honestly don't. Candace Owens is the one who's asking the questions, not me. Because I don't see it like that. But these questions are interesting enough. And you already know she ain't going to stop. She ain't going to stop questioning until she gets some sort of cease and desist. Trust and believe. But let's take a look at this. So she's calling out Trump for apparently ignoring the investigation into Charlie Kirk's demise. So MAGA influencer Candace Owens has criticized the Trump administration investigation into the demise. The Trump administration's investigation into the demise of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, as she continues to push her unfounded conspiracy theory that the Israeli government was involved in the tragedy. Now, again, true. She's got theories like a mug. Is it true? Does she have any solid evidence on her theory? So far, no. But like I said before, a million times before, and I'll say it again. When you have suspicious minds, if you are in a suspicious mindset, everything is going to be suspect. Caught in a trap. I'm just telling you. I can't walk out. You're going to be stuck. Okay? That suspicious mindset is going to make you think everything's weird. Oh my God, this cup is blue and white. What does that mean? Does that mean Charlie Kirk really lost his life by one person? Ah! I'm just saying, right? It's cold outside today. Wait, does that mean Charlie Kirk really lost his life by Tyler Robinson? You see what I'm saying? Ooh, I love Reese's peanut butter cups on Halloween. Wait, does that mean Israelis were involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk? I'm just saying, you give a suspicious mindset human being an inch, they will turn that into a suspicious mile. I don't know, the old Jamaican proverb. Okay? So again, like I said, it's a little bit, people can stretch things for the sake of stretching things to fit into their own conspiratorial theories and their conspiratorial timelines and narrative, right? And she is right up in there because she's like, well, that guy, I don't get it. You see the guy and he's running away and he's on the phone and he's calling somebody. Takes 2 seconds. He's already calling somebody, running behind the wall. Why is he calling that person? That seems a little bit weird, don't you think? That's weird. Like, it's like, well, he had his phone open when that whole thing went down. Maybe he ran around the wall so he didn't get hit with bullets like everybody else was doing. It was fight or flight. You know what I mean? Yeah. Why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? And it's like, well, he's doing that because he's trying to dodge the damn bullets. That's it. Everybody else would do the same. Everyone else was doing the same damn thing. The only thing I didn't like was him doing the selfie video, being like, oh, they got Kirk. They got Charlie, man. They got Charlie. He's dead. He's gone. He's gone. It's like, bro, you don't even know yet. You ran away. How do you know? How do you know? And why film it? Why make a video right when the dude is there, life leaking out of his body? This is your friend. And in my mind, I'm like, is this you just making an opportunity for a viral video? Like, it just seemed weird. That's all. It just seemed weird to me, making that video. But that's another conversation in itself. So she has peddled the accusation since Charlie Kirk's demise in December. So the commentator escalated her theories on Wednesday, calling out President Donald Trump for appearing disinterested in keeping the public informed on the investigation. Yeah, it kind of does feel, and I agree to a certain extent, because I feel like it's like we got to get justice for our guy. We got to get the information. We got to get the truth. We got to get what's going on, right? And for some strange reason, he does a WWE memorial. Okay, he does a memorial that looks like a doggone WWE event, and then that was it. After that, we don't see him anymore. Can't John Cena can't see me. We don't see him anymore talking about it. He gone. He busy going to China and doing this, that, and the third, trying to make more nuclear weapons. That's another conversation in itself too, but that's actually happening as well. Just a heads up. But again, instead of him actually like letting people know what's going on, he's not. I think it's a little bit weird. I do think it's a little weird. I do. So we got the video. We're going to take a look at this. We have definitely got to take a look at this. Candace Owens, talk about President Trump. Let's go.
She dedicated his entire life to him. And I mean, how much he dedicated is unreal, going through my messages to really consider how much he dedicated his entire life to him. And I mean, sleepless nights wanting to ensure that he got elected, reelected, midterm elections, hitting the ground, wearing a MAGA hat. We were everywhere. I was on fire for Trump too. I really believed in Trump. I really believed that if people could wake up to how quickly the media turned on him, that it could be, you know, this conduit to Black Americans understanding that we're being manipulated. Because my focus was all about Black America, right? And
real quick, whatever happened to Blexit? Is Blexit still around? Or is that gone? I thought, like, I could have sworn Blexit was still around, but I could, you know what I mean? But she ain't the one pushing it anymore. It's gone, right? So anyway, interesting.
What I can say is that from the very moment that we learned the news that Charlie Kirk had passed, I knew spiritually that we were never going to get the full story from officials, right? Not from officials. I can't explain it. I felt that way.
Oh.
And then when Trump rushed to tweet out that, or social Truth Social out that photo, that AI photo of him and Charlie with the Star of David in the background, I just knew.
Okay, so she saw a photo of Trump. It's an AI photo of Trump and Charlie Kirk that Trump put up, right? Basically saying everybody loved Charlie, right? And then in the background, you got the Israel flag. Then, of course, you got the American flag, right? And she's like, oh, so something sinister's going on. Meh. You remember the text messages that she revealed saying that between her and Charlie Kirk, that she was like, he said, I lost another Jewish donor, another Jewish sponsor, basically. And he's like, I'm not talking about Jewish stuff, or, you know, I'm not talking about anything Israel anymore, or something like that, right? So he was obviously getting paid to talk. He's getting paid a lot of money to talk. Let's be real, guys. Okay? Getting paid a lot of money, millions of dollars to talk and be pro-Israel. Suddenly he wasn't getting that money no mo. And if you do the simple math and read the text messages again, it's clear as day that he's like, well, they're trying to control me. They're not letting me bring on people who might be anti-Israel or whatever, the likes of, like, I don't know, Candace Owens or someone like Tucker Carlson. So, I'm not talking about it anymore. I just lost millions of dollars. I'm not talking about that anymore, right? Let's be real. Very interesting stuff. This photo with Israel behind him, does it mean anything sinister? I mean, no, I don't think so. But one thing is for sure, Charlie Kirk was getting paid, baby. That Turning Point USA was making ducats, okay? They were properly minted, all right? Properly minted, love. Properly. Hundreds of millions of dollars a year type stuff, okay? And so now you hear, these Jewish donors don't want to, sponsors, donors, whatever you want to call it, don't want to give me the money because I'm bringing on Tucker Carlson. Well, then I'm not talking about that pro-Israel stuff no more. That's interesting. I know some people are angry about me saying stuff like that, but that is facts. You'd read the text messages yourself. You'll see for yourself that he's saying that he was getting paid to be pro-Israel. And then suddenly he did not want to be pro-Israel anymore. Okay? And I get it. Some people are like, why the flag though? That's the thing. I don't know, but I don't know if that has anything sinister to do with anything. I just think that right when he passed away, he was pro-Israel. He might have been changing his ways and his thoughts before he lost his life, but he was pro-Israel before that. Again. Okay? So again, and yes, you could talk about Gaza and why some people have turned away from being pro-Israel because of the whole Gaza situation. Yes, and I totally get that as well. But he was talking to his good friend, one of his closest friends, which happens to be, allegedly, Candace Owens. Okay? And he was talking about that money. And he's like, I'm losing these Jewish donors. Shoot, I'm done. I'm done talking about this stuff. F it. They're not paying me to talk about it anymore, so I'm not going to be the mouthpiece for them anymore. It is interesting, the flag in the background, but I don't know. It might be a little bit of a stretch, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. Let's continue.
In the background, I just knew. I knew the investigation into who murdered Charlie Kirk was officially over, right? The officials wanted nothing to do with it because there was nobody more psychotically insistent that people stop asking questions about Charlie's death immediately. I mean, early hours, right? More than the people that are dedicated to the Israel lobby, right? These individuals, if you go back, people that are pro-Israel for whatever reason, were like, do not look any further into this death. In fact, I'll challenge you. Do me a favor. Find me just one real life pro-Israel individual who is expressing that they don't believe that Charlie Kirk was killed by Tyler Robinson. The evidence is overwhelming that Tyler Robinson didn't act alone, that Tyler Robinson didn't fire the shot, that Tyler Robinson didn't use a 30-06. Find me just one person with a platform who's pro-Israel and says, I want this investigation into his death to continue.
One thing is for sure. I agree with her 110%. All the things that are leading towards Tyler Robinson being connected to this whole thing is a little bit suspicious. You have a 30-06. Did he really get hit with a 30-06 bullet? Did he? Is that for sure? If he did, the whole side of his neck would have been gone. Okay? I've talked to friends that know a lot about this stuff. And they're like, no, his face, hit the whole side. All of this would have been a hole. All of it just gone. Completely obliterated, gone. Okay? So it's interesting what happened. And then also on top of it, that bullet would have gone through him. It would not have stopped. Like they're going, he's a man of steel. It's amazing how healthy and strong he was. He stopped the whole bullet. Are you sure about that? You sure about that? Because if it was a 30-06, man, that thing would have gone right through him and would have hurt somebody else right behind the screen behind him. Whoever else was standing behind him would have been obliterated as well. Okay? Mortally wounded, for lack of a better term. And yet they're saying it was a 30-06. I don't believe that either. That part I don't believe. Do I think that Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger? Yes, I do. I do. But with what weapon? Was it Grandpapa's rifle? Or was it something else? Seems a little bit weird, right? So I do believe that part is a bit odd. And I think we all can agree on that. The timeline, the information that they gave us, all that seems a bit weird. That part is weird. But when we start going straight for, you know, they're not even reaching for the stars. You know, some people are going for Pluto. You know, they're going far beyond the stars. That far-fetched stuff.
It's a bit weird, right? It's a bit weird. Dogs, very silent right now. Very, very silent. And there's like a stake on the ground. They're not moving. It's very weird. They do, all of them, however, I will say, want him to be honored, right? Mostly by your money. They want you to give to Turning Point USA. That's the best way, by the way, that you can honor him. Open up your pocketbooks. They don't have enough money there, right? Clearing like $100 million a year. They don't have enough. Open up your pockets, keep his show going, and don't ask questions is obviously the clearest way.
She said it, not me. She said it, not me. Let me say it again. Okay, cabrón. She said it again. Not me. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Cabrón, I have no idea. She said it, not me, cabrón. She said it, not me, cabrón. She said it. She's saying the quiet part out loud. Because nobody wants to say this. No one wants to say it because it's going to get people mad. It's going to ruffle up some feathers. Right? It's turkey time here soon. So, you know. But you see what I'm saying? People are getting in their feelings going, oh, bless Erica Kirk's heart. You know, that kind of stuff. And I get it. Bless her heart. May she find the peace and find time to grieve, because I don't think she's even had time to fully grieve properly. Okay. But here's the thing. As soon as he lost his life, instantly it was, please go to TPSUSA or TPUSA.com and please contribute. Right? That man was making so much freaking money. Okay? TPUSA, I keep on saying TPS, like the Pascal Show USA. TPUSA was making so much money. How much money were they making? I don't have a comeback for that. They were just making a lot of money. Okay? Like I said, they were properly minted. Okay? That's it. Properly minted, love. Now I get it. They got to keep that momentum going. They don't want their patrons, their subscribers, their viewership, all that stuff to just drop dramatically. They want to keep that money meter going up. They got bills to pay. They have private jets and, you know, private security and stuff to pay for. I get that. They got kids to worry about and all that. I get it. But at the same time, if you noticed, she's saying something that's very true. It was like, contribute. Did you contribute? Don't forget to contribute. Instead of, man, let's pray. Let's find ways to bring peace to the masses. Let's find ways to reach across the aisle and look past our political differences and find peace within each other, because what happened to Charlie Kirk should not happen to any person. And this should be a very stark wake-up call for all of us, that we need to go look past our political opinions and our differences and find the common thread, which is that we are all human and that we all want peace on this planet. That's what it should have been. But that's not what happened, remember? I hate him. I hate him. I hate my enemy. I hate him. I don't know about him. He's a great guy, but me, I hate them all. I hate my enemy. Did he not say that during the memorial of Charlie Kirk, which should have been about peace, love, grievance, unity? It didn't happen. That's not what he said. So this is the thing. My issue is that too. It was a memorial WWE event. John Cena, right? And he's like, I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. I don't know about you, but that's just how I do it. I just hate them all. I hate them all. Those loser lefts, right? Instead of bringing people together. Oh, but to contribute. Don't forget to contribute. Hate them all. Contribute, though. Those violent lefties contribute, though. Those violent lefties. Did he contribute? Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I get this part. What she's saying right here, I get it 100%, because she's sitting there going like, wait a second, that's so odd. They're trying to memorialize this individual, which I understand. I get it. I'm not saying, listen, I am not knocking them doing what they did, okay, for Charlie Kirk. How he lost his life was very traumatic in a very dramatic way as well, right? Shocking, dramatic, etc. I get that they took him and, put him on that pedestal. I get it, okay? But at the same time, she's like, it's weird that they suddenly just threw him up there like the patron saint of podcasting, right? And how they maneuvered afterwards was odd. I can see that too. Like I said, broken clock can be right 2 times a day. There are things in here I'm like, yeah, she got a point there. She got a point. It is 7:30 right now. Now it's not 7:30. It's 7:31. So you're wrong again. You see what I'm saying? So let's continue on. She said it, not me, cabron, okay? She said it.
That we can honor Charlie Kirk. They want him lionized, and they did try to lionize him immediately as the most Judeo-Christian goy ever, right? He was basically, why not just put him in a yarmulke in some of these AI photos? That would make more sense. The direction, it's so instant. It's like just like trying to establish the legacy, right? And keeping with that, we want this to be honorific, not actually trying to solve what happened here. For Charlie's birthday, President Trump signed into law or established rather a holiday. And he decided that October 14th, which is Charlie Kirk's birthday, would be a national day of remembrance for Charlie Kirk. Okay? And I'm going to tell you how I feel about that. Truly Zionists that infiltrated my book club, you did not need to pay the $9.99 to find out how I feel about this. I don't know why people think I'm hiding how I feel. It's very weird. Like, when did people go, oh, we have to try to listen in to hear what she really thinks? I'll tell you what I really think. I think it's crap. Okay? What I said in my book club holds. It's never good when the feds are lining up to give you a holiday. It's not good. Martin Luther King vibes. Martin Luther King Jr. I think maybe the feds definitely killed Martin Luther King Jr.
Oh, my God. So there's a connection. I'm not saying that there's a connection, but, given the fact that you have these particular individuals, like a national holiday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, that kind of thing, and now you got Charlie Kirk having, now having a holiday or, a day in his honor as well. Yeah, it's quite the thing to say. I will say that it is quite the thing to say. Oh, okay. Period. I do think it's interesting, but let's continue on here.
But in school we get to learn about him. He's got this whole holiday. Oh, he was such a great. I loved that I have a dream speech. Oh, the feds. Oh man, you're good. You were so great. It's unfortunate that we had to murder you. I don't like it because the best way to honor Charlie Kirk is very obvious. Figure out who killed him first. Let's celebrate the holiday later. I want to figure out who killed him first. And so I'm struck by this. I'm struck by Trump and the lack of demand, the lack of pushing on the narrative. Trump has really represented himself, at least as me, someone who voted for him twice. He represented himself as an individual who didn't trust the federal establishment. This feels like an easy layup here. You're a friend. He viewed you in many ways like a father figure, right? Hey, feds, what's going on here? And I said, maybe he did, because I was in this aggrieved stage and I really didn't poke my head up until weeks later when I could stop crying about it every second. And I said, maybe I missed it. Maybe Trump did actually say this is crap. Maybe he did call for an investigation. And we did a search on Truth Social to see how many times President Trump tweeted or Truth Socialed calling for further investigation into Charlie Kirk's murder. And there was only one tweet that we could find to that effect. And this tweet is not what I would describe as him calling for an investigation into Charlie Kirk's murder, actually. Here it is. This is the only one we could find. Why was the wonderful turning point under investigation by deranged Jack Smith and the corrupt and incompetent Biden administration? They tried to force Charlie and many other people and movements out of business. They weaponized the Justice Department against sleepy Joe Biden's political opponents, including me. They allowed the daughter of a judge of one of the corrupt trials against me to become the biggest fundraiser for Biden and Kamala, making millions of dollars for herself and her family. But with her father, the judge, not only refusing to recuse himself, but putting a gag order on me, not allowing any talk about their family corruption and unprecedented conflict of interest. Well, that's not going to age well, the gag order thing, is it? Every leading legal analyst and pundit said this trial was wrong and should not have been allowed to go forward. But it did because of a corrupt judge who will hopefully pay a very big price for his illegal action someday.
That's not really a tweet.
Okay.
On
scale of 1 to 10, how much is that? Do you feel about Charlie Kirk?
0. I mean, let's be real. But at the same time, like, let's be real. Obviously, there hasn't been a whole lot of information recently. They haven't really said much about anything when it comes to this the investigation into Charlie Kirk. I do think it is a little bit interesting that there really hasn't been much information, okay? From the feds, from the Trump administration. It's kind of like all they gave us, they just feel like is enough. But I want to make this abundantly clear. Something that Candace Owens said here that I have to make abundantly clear, okay? Yeah, maybe back in the day, he wasn't about the establishment. Maybe back in the day, he wasn't about, he was always side-eyeing how the government ran things and, wanted the people transparency and, to be as transparent as they could to the general public. But in actuality, he is the establishment now. Let's talk about the Epstein files. We just talked about that just earlier. Where is the information? Why are you holding out all the information? Why are they lying to us? Let's be real. You think that this is the same Trump from his first term? No, this is Trump 2.0. This is a different guy. He's not going to do what he did last time because he is the establishment. You see that, right? Come on now. No disrespect to Trump. I'm just saying something that's very true. If you really think about it, instantly, I'm sorry, I'm saying it. As soon as they said there were no files, there was no list, and there's nothing to talk about, to clamor about with the Epstein situation, he instantly turned into a mother-loving politician. He turned into a politician right then and there. We saw it form right before our eyes. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. And now we're seeing all these moves that are happening, and I can understand why people are side-eyeing this situation. The first thing that should have happened, I think things would have been different. Let me just say this. I truly think things would be different, and people would have reacted differently right now with the information about Tyler Robinson and the connection to him to Charlie Kirk and all that stuff. All of this would be different if they had dropped those Epstein files when they said they were going to drop them. Sorry. That's what I think. And I think because of that, when that happened, the general public lost faith or started to. I'm not saying everybody lost faith, but people started to lose a little bit of faith in the Trump administration. As soon as they said, because they were hyping it up, oh, we're going to drop those files. And when they drop, it's going to blow your wig back. I tell you what, I'll tell you that for free. It's going to blow your wig back. And then what happened? Then all of a sudden out of nowhere, they go, oh, yeah, they don't exist. There is no list. It doesn't exist. Okay? That's what they said. Instantly, everyone was like, word? Now I don't believe you. So now, when they go into another investigation, and one of the same people that was involved with releasing the files to the public is also leading the investigation into this monster, Tyler Robinson, and he comes out with, yes, my love, this is what we are going to look for. Waiting for police to leave so I can retrieve my artillery, get back into my vehicle, and then I can be back into your arms, my love, back into your arms. Remember that? Ooh, and all that. I can't believe. Thank God. I can't believe. I'm so embarrassed. Can't believe they said that on TV. The ooh. Golly, they're just glorified memes, furry memes. I'm so embarrassed. I wrote those onto the bullets right before I came out here and did that. Remember that day when I did that? How embarrassing. Can't believe that they read ooh on national television. How embarrassing. Same dude. Same mother-loving dude that was involved with the IFPan files is the same dude that was putting out that information for the world to see. Like I said, it reads like the first draft, probably the only draft, of a Tyler Perry movie. Golly, you know those movies, and you hate them. Instantly, you're like, oh, this movie's trash. At least for me, I'm like, oh, this movie's, and it's like within the first 5 minutes of the movie, can't believe you got divorced by that guy. It's Kevin. Now Kevin's out here running amok, going crazy. Can't believe you've been divorced for 5 years. And he's like, wow, you really said all of that? Or it's the twisting, the villain at the end of every movie, right? He's, that twisting of the mustache, the twirling of the mustache. Like, this is why I did this to your Dalmatians, because I can't take it anymore. That crap? That's why I went there and took your Dalmatian and turned him all black. He's actually still a Dalmatian. I just dyed him. And then I also went over here and changed the oil in your car or something crazy. Like, exactly what I'm talking about. As they're walking around with the knife and they're like, this is why I did it all. Right? That's what we read. The script to a mother-loving movie. And they made it seem like we were just gonna, they just sat easy like, okay, guys, here you go. What you think? Yeah? Believable? No? That is damn good writing. Mr. Patel, Director Patel, this is stellar writing. We brought our best and a little help from ChatGPT, but we got the best in the department to write this script. What do you mean? This is believable. I mean, don't you call your wife, don't you address her as my love? Yeah, I actually do from time to time, yeah. Anybody else? Do you? Oh, yeah, I do, yeah. And they just expected us to believe that crap. So again, same people that said that the list does not exist are the same people that are spearheading this investigation and giving us Chat GPT text messages. Are we supposed to instantly believe that? Can you blame us for asking questions? By the way, just really quick, the moon landing did actually happen. It's not it wasn't fake. Okay. All right. What else? What else is a random conspiracy that's out here that's just out of this world? Okay. There's plenty of other ones. But like I said, I have not spun off this planet. Okay. We all have the same questions. All of us, thought-provoking, evil, level-minded individuals are asking the same doggone questions. Some ain't right here. It definitely ain't right. But like I said, as soon as they said that list does not exist, Trump turned into a politician. I said it, and I don't care.
I don't know. I don't know what to think of that. I don't know what to make of that. Like I said, it's pretty obvious. They want us to just look at everything and go, case closed. Don't you see? We're all united. We're standing up here. We're giving him a holiday. We're signing that. And we've got all these photographers here. Turning Point's chief fundraiser lady here. And she's crying. So obviously she loved Charlie. Cash Patel was there. Of all the people, unbelievable to me. They're here. Cash Patel's here. So you can see we're all united. You can totally trust the FBI science now. We're ruling out corruption. That's why we don't know what Jeffrey Epstein files are talking about. Because we look, all we had to do was win against Democrats and corruption would be over. Are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? I'm sorry. You know, I've realized something actually and truly. They made, in retrospect, the absolute best decision not inviting me to speak at Charlie's memorial. Like, kudos to whoever made that call, because I would have just been on my best Kanye. I would have jumped on stage and just grabbed the mic from Susie Wiles or someone and said, are you kidding me? What is going on here? What is happening? Even Trump's speech, remember when he just kind of worked in the story about Charlie interviewing a fourth grader and he was referring to Breland Holland? And I'm saying Holland, by the way, because that was his name when Charlie interviewed him, because Trump wasn't there, nothing to do with Trump. When Charlie went on that fourth grader's podcast, his name was Breland Holland, and I was next to him. It was me and Charlie. What a weird story for Trump to just obscurely pluck out of thin air to say on stage at his memorial. He wasn't there. He had nothing to do with him. The kid had some connections and, of course, was really sweet and adorable and in fourth grade and super polite and energetic and was like, I'd love to interview you. I can't remember who the guy was who was his dad. I got him the interview with us. And all of a sudden, Trump's just saying this story on stage at Charlie's memorial as if he was there. And he wasn't. So what's going on?
Yeah, it's weird. And yeah, she did say I would do my best Kanye. So yeah, she would go unhinged. She would definitely go unhinged. Now, I want to hop over to this part because DJ Donald Jr., okay, Donald Trump Jr., she had some choice words to say about Donald Trump Jr. Again, see, here's the thing. This, I think, is very interesting, too, because we're now starting to see that the MAGA movement is starting to split. If you haven't noticed this already, there has been quite a split that's been going on. Now, I know not everybody's going to agree with that, and some people are going to be like, don't you say that about MAGA, it's MAGA. But here's the thing. MAGA is starting to, it's starting to split. There's a divide that's actually starting to build. There are people that are surprisingly stepping away from Trump. And that's true. Okay, look it up. It's true. There are people that are starting to step away from Trump because they don't like what he has been doing as of late. Some of the things have been very questionable. Okay. And some of the things I can understand why people have been feeling some type of way about it. But that's what's going on. People are still going, nah, like we're starting to split. She's one of the first people to start going, you know what I mean? Starting to get away from MAGA. She's been talking like this for a while. it's just interesting that she's going basically scorched earth on everybody now. It's not only just Trump, it's Turning Point USA, it's everybody. I do think it's interesting that she has not, and I hope she doesn't, but she hasn't really gone directly towards Erica Kirk, I've noticed. It's not like she's gone straight towards her, I'm sorry. She's been going around. You know what I mean? Nothing's been a direct hit at Erica Kirk, and I don't think she should be making a direct hit at her. But I do think it's interesting that she is going after the organization that Charlie built, right? The house that Charlie built, but not her. But I do think that's interesting. Does that mean anything? No, probably not. Or it does mean something. I don't know. But I do think it is interesting, right? And then, there's been rumors not rumors, but speculation. I don't know. I don't know about all that. I'm going to keep my nose out of that business unless that business comes out, right? But nonetheless, she's going after everybody. Is there something bigger going on here? I don't know. I do not know. Let's see what she got to say about DJ now.
Out to me. Speaking on the note of who his friends are, I will tell you there was no one, like I said at the top of the show, that could have upset me more than Don Jr.
Damn.
Okay. Don Jr. was one of Charlie's friends, like brother, literally a brother. Don Jr., by the way, I would say was one of the people who very much helped to build Turning Point USA. He was there. Okay. He did a ton of college campus events with me and Charlie. And we were always so grateful. I remember when Don Jr. started following me, I have the text messages with Charlie. I was like, oh my, Don Jr. is following me. This is amazing. He would retweet me. The beginning of the Candace story includes Don Trump Jr. being probably, without question actually, the most committed Trump family member to Turning Point USA's early story, okay? And like I said, I know how Charlie felt about Don Trump Jr. So when Megyn Kelly asked him what he thought about the investigation into Charlie's assassination, I was expecting him to say, I think it's crap. But that is not what he said. In fact, he did his best not to answer the question, as you'll see, and then Megyn Kelly holds him to it, and then you'll hear what he says. Take a listen.
How do you feel about the investigation into Charlie's death? Can we have faith in it? Do you feel like it's being well handled?
So far, so good. I think, I've had this conversation with a lot of the guys that have been, very involved from the beginning, and, others that are a big part of that movement that are, are going to take, more of a role. Guys like JD, like, hey, he believes we have to keep this going. People, myself, hey, I did a lot of them, but I got to do even more. We got to keep this going. There's never going to be a replacement for Charlie Kirk. You can't plug that in. But if we can find 10 people that can do 10% of what he did, and they go all in and do that, we can keep that alive. And honestly, we all owe that to him.
Just to round back, do you have confidence in the investigation? Should we have confidence in this FBI investigating?
I do. And I mean, I don't know. I don't like it when the people have the private, but I've spoken to everyone, around, and Erica, and I do have confidence. And when I start seeing some of the other stuff, it's like, man. And by the way, just so we're clear, as you all probably know, if you're here, you probably follow me a little bit. Like, I'm about as conspiratorial as it gets within the realm of sanity, for good cause, right? I think I was the guy that first said, like, the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is usually about 6 months. I was the guy canceled for pushing all of the obvious things that were conspiracy theories, that, Wuhan or whatever it may be, lab virus leak. The problem is that there is a cottage industry of just clicks and people that are more than happy to profiteer off of that. Again, I'm not saying that a lot of this stuff isn't real and isn't true, and I've been pushing all of that, but some of the stuff does get a little bit off the rails, and I think, you're really, it's been used even by the other side as a way to distract from the bigger picture of what happened to him, of what the other side has proven that they are actually willing to do.
Now that's the thing. It is deflection. R2 facts. That was deflection like a mug. But it's interesting how he went back to the narrative or back into the rhetoric of, oh yeah, it's the left. See, it's that side. Near the end, he's like, oh, you can see he's scrambling. He's scrambling a little bit, right? But then at the end, it's like, oh, back to that rhetoric. It's the left. It's the left. That's all. It's the left's fault. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you saw the look on her face when she was talking about, when he talked about, oh, there are people out here that are just doing these things for clicks, that kind of thing. And she just kind of, she's like, you could tell that she's aggravated by what he is saying because she may think that he was saying that directly to her. But yeah, this is something else. Real talk. And I think he was trying to avoid answering the question because he probably knows a lot more too. And he probably thinks exactly how Candace Owens thinks, that the investigation has been trash, right? Hella Scary, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. Candace said he never confessed, but saw his picture and was encouraged to turn himself in and clear up the matter. Dad didn't turn him in. See, but that's the thing. That's what we hear from Candace Owens. But then we also have the news saying that the family, the parents are the ones that were the ones convincing him. They ID'd him. They confronted him. He at first denied it. Then he finally confessed. That's when they brought in a pastor, convinced him to turn himself in. And now he's just been sitting inside of this, sitting inside of a cell, not willing to talk. Right now, if I don't know what is true, that's the problem. I don't know what Candace Owens is saying is true, or I don't know if what the news and what the feds have said is true. That's the issue. You see what I'm saying? Because yes, I feel like there is a thin line between truth and conspiracy for sure. Absolutely. And I think it gets worse. Conspiracies start to bleed into the truth when there's no information being given out by the person that has the information, right? Like the feds, like law enforcement, etc. We've seen this countless times where people go off the rails with their theories. And we see this too, where they create videos and create content off of a theory. And it's just a theory out of their own brain. But then it turns into what everybody else believes. And then they start going after, they keep continuing to stack up on that theory, right? On that conspiracy theory. It's pretty bad. We see this countless times. We've seen this countless times on a multitude of different things, not only just on true crime cases or, mysterious situations like this, but it's like just rumor mill stuff, right? Rumor has it this, that, and the third. Rumor has it that this person did this thing. Rumor has it that person did that thing. And then all of a sudden, content creators start making videos off of those things, right? For hours and hours and hours of stuff, right? Hours and hours and hours of stuff that's, worthy of, it's just taking up space, right? So again, something very, very interesting is going on here for sure. The investigation really needs to get into the investigation. And I do think that they need to be a little bit more transparent with us big time. Grateful. Thank you so much for the love. It all smells like kabuki theater. Yeah, it does. It does. Whatever that smells like. Smoke and mirrors. Yeah, it probably just smells like sawdust and fresh paint. I don't know. Because like a kabuki theater, Anyway. But yes, guys, I mean, so let's continue on because she's still got a little bit more to say. But I do want to say this, though, too. A quick reminder, small little commercial break here. I am in the middle of raising some money. I know we are living in some tough times right now. Okay. I know we're living in some tough times right now, but I am looking to raise some money for a live backpack. It's a backpack for a live rig that's in the size of a backpack. Okay. I can't talk for some weird reason now. But it is a rig where I can go anywhere in the world basically and go live. I can go do boots on the ground interviews. I can do in person X, Y, and Z, right? But it allows me to go live anywhere. Okay. So and the rig is not cheap. So I'm trying to raise some money to get the actual rig. So the GoFundMe is pinned to the top of the chat. Okay. And there you can actually go check out the actual rig itself. So you know that it's real. I'm not trying to take money from y'all just for the sake of taking money or anything like that. I'm not like that. But it's an opportunity to take the show on the road, right? Take the show out to certain events, certain places. Also going and talking to other people about what's going on in the world, right? So that's one part of it. And of course, I could use that rig to go live. Basically, if I wanted to go live in the middle of a field, I could go do a whole show live in the middle of the field if I wanted to. So there's a lot of really great dynamics and a lot of really great things and tool. It's a really great tool. And there's an opportunity here to really expand the show and do a lot more with the show beyond just this room. Okay. So again, I understand with the, government shutdown things and all that, it's a really, really crappy time for a lot of people. But at the same time, if you're able to, a little bit goes a long way. Like I said, I'm just trying to raise a little over $2,000 because, for shipping and handling type stuff. Because the rig is about $2,000, but of course, we added, I added in for shipping and handling as well. So again, if you can, that would be amazing. I know a lot of you have been donating, which I really do appreciate. But yes, any little bit helps. And the link is pinned to the top of the chat. See, the reason why I'm stuttering is I don't like asking for money. You know what I mean? I don't like that. So I get nervous about talking about this kind of stuff. I really do. Really, really, I do. But again, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. It's also in the description box down below. Again, like I said, it is a rig which would allow me to have a continuous live stream link where I could just go live anywhere without interruption. I don't need a cell phone tower. I don't need good internet. I have my own internet. It's all in this book bag, right? Some big streamers that are out here use the exact same rig. And they're streaming for 7-8 hours straight, walking around the streets of Dubai and stuff like that. It's pretty crazy stuff what you can do with this bag, with this rig. So yeah, if you can, it's pinned at the top of the chat. Any little bit helps. The link is in the description box down below as well. It's something I've always wanted to be able to bring into it's something I've been wanting to bring into the show really, really bad. R2 Facts, yeah, basically it's an IRL backpack. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Yes, R2 Facts. So that's literally what I'm trying to raise money for. So I can get out here. There's a couple holiday events. I'm trying to get it if I can make that goal before the holidays. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, thank you R2 Facts. Yeah. They are very legit. Like I said, this is no joke. There are other rigs that are like $30,000. Okay, so this is the cheapest I found that will give me everything I need where I can go live anywhere. And there's some events over the holidays that I really want to be able to bring bring you guys along with me. There's some black tie events. There are some red carpet events, some big events with names and celebrities that I basically do every year. And I'm hoping that I can bring this aspect to the show, or bring the show with me to the actual event. And it would be a whole live thing where you guys are there with me, hanging out, having drinks, talking to people, blah, 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 and just having fun, interviewing people right then and there, asking them about things that are going on in the world at that time. and just giving you guys more variety of a show and giving you guys more entertainment. And of course, still talking about the news and all things that are going on in the world. So again, if you can, it would be greatly appreciated. Trying to meet that goal sooner rather than later. And yeah, that's it. That's it. So go check it out if you can. If you can't, I understand. But let's continue on. She's got more to say.
Man, oh man, so much I want to say to that clip. Okay, the first thing that I want to say is that Don Trump Jr. is not a bad guy. Not a bad guy. Don Trump Jr. is probably maybe akin in some ways to Mikey McCoy. I look at Mikey McCoy. I don't know Mikey McCoy at all. And I don't think he's an evil person. I think he is in the shadow of his father, right? I think he's in the shadow of his father. I think Don Jr. has been probably in the shadow of his father his entire life, because what he's saying when he begins to credentialize himself and said, oh, I was up at the Wuhan, said this about COVID, blah, blah, that's all true. That's the real Don Trump Jr. He was actually one of the people that was the most vocal about the Jeffrey Epstein files until Dad said, are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein, right? And that's what I mean when I say someone who is in the shadow of his father. And it's a tough situation to be in. So I do want to be charitable in terms of thinking of that particular dynamic when Dad is saying this needs to be done. And you have to carry on knowing that you had a real relationship with Charlie, because you did have a relationship with Charlie. But Don, from me to you, it's better to say nothing. Okay. It's better to say, I'm just not going to answer that question. The best way you could honor Charlie Kirk, if you can't fight for him for some reason, is to simply say nothing. Because I looked at this clip and it bothered me for a lot of reasons, Don, because I know who you are. I know who you are. You're a hunter. You love to hunt, Don, right? Every picture of you, you're in the wilderness. Your whole life, you love to be in the wild. In fact, you taught me a lot about the wild and a lot about hunting. And my favorite fishing experience is actually with you, right? Fighting back the sea lions or the seals in British Columbia. You know nature. And I'm not going to ask you to go back against the nature of honoring your father, but I am going to ask you not to lie. And as a hunter, if you are not lying, and this is truly what you believe, you trust the investigation, I'm going to need you to make a video saying that you believe that Charlie was shot by a .30-06 in the neck. And that somehow, through the miracle of God, Charlie's neck stopped a .30-06. Not only stopped a .30-06, but was pretty much in good shape, not even destroyed. His neck was not even destroyed by a .30-06. That kind of a miracle, Don.
Okay, so first off, diggity, 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 damn. So now, like I said, she is not only calling out Trump, she is also calling out DJ too. Okay, and she's like, hey, come through. You a hunter, so you know your fair share of ammunition. So show me proof positive. Show me proof positive that a .30-06 was actually used to take out Charlie Kirk. And please explain to the peanut gallery, to the ladies and gentlemen of this jury, please explain to them how his whole side of his neck is still intact and not completely obliterated. Please explain that to us. I'd like to know too, because that is very wild. Like I said, broken clock, right 2 times a day. This is a moment where I'm like, okay, she got a point right there. Okay, she got a point right here. She does. She's got a point right there. .30-06 would have completely taken his whole side of his body, like this area, this whole area, here and back, blown out, right? It didn't happen that way. And it's not like weak projectile. Okay? it still took him out. So was it really a 30-06? Really? Somebody got to answer that question. Somebody gotta, but no one's talking. The ones that have all the information, the powers that be, that hold the information, are not providing that information, and that is a huge problem.
You know hunting, you know guns, and so I'm asking you if this is truly what you believe. To clarify that matter, make a video, sit down with me, look me in the eye and say, Candace, I really do think that Charlie, our friend, because you are his friend, you were his brother, stopped a 30-06 with his neck, which stayed intact. You won't say that, Don. You won't say that because it's untrue. And I think that spiritually it would mess with you. And the hunters that are listening know that you don't believe that.
And damn right.
You know too much.
Damn right.
Okay.
Oh, well, I don't know about knowing too much, but I will say that the hunters, like I've talked to, plenty of people, friends of mine that are in law enforcement, all the way to Army, armed forces, law enforcement, military, and hunters themselves. And they're like, y'all must be crazy to believe that he just had a little hole in his neck and that's it. And that's it? They're like, y'all are crazy to think that thing did not go through him, would not have gone through him. That would have gone through him. And there would have either been somebody else hurt, or that thing would be lodged in the ground behind him, depending on the projectile and the angle in which the weapon was fired, right? But one thing's for sure, that thing should have gone through him and blew out the back of him. The exit wound would have been bad. Okay? But of course, when you see that, it's like, okay, if that didn't happen, then it's not a 30-06. If that didn't happen, which it should have happened if it was a 30-06. I mean, no, you're getting hit with a 30-06. You're not coming back from that, y'all. You're not. Okay? You're not. Massive hole. Massive exit wounds. Massive. Not this. Not just an entry wound and then that's it. Entry wound is this. The exit wound is this. It's massive. So make that make sense. And you can't sit there and go, oh my God, it's so amazing. He is the man of steel. He must have adamantium bones. He is Wolverine, everybody. No, that doesn't make any sense. Okay? Does not make any sense. Period. Yeah, exactly. The classic one. There'd be red everywhere. It would be an absolute bloodbath in that area. There'd be a whole splatter on the wall, on the screen, or you know what I mean, that awning that he had, that tent, pop-up tent thing that he had. This would be literally this whole side of him, whole backside of him would be completely blown the F out. But that did not happen. That's not a freak accident. That means there was other artillery that was used, other ammunition that was used. That's what I think. NB, thank you so much for being a member for almost 2 years. I appreciate it. What is his wife saying about her speaking out? Shouldn't the wife be speaking out if they fumbled the investigation? Things are not adding up. NB, it's interesting. She has not really, from what I've seen so far, and it's not like I'm sitting there just watching everything that Erica Kirk does. I mean, because one thing is for sure, everyone is consistently, analyzing, critiquing, and judging every single thing that she does. I'm going to be real. I think she's grieving. I think she's going through some really crazy emotions, I'm sure. But I also think that she needs to put a face forward of a grieving wife. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. I don't think every day she's on the microphone grieving. hear me out though. I don't mean that in a nefarious, bad way, like she has no soul. I just think that she's trying to move forward. She's trying to move on. Yes, there's a part of her that misses. There's a huge part of her that's missing. It's Charlie Kirk. But I think not every day she's crying on the microphone. I think sometimes it is almost like she's faking it. That's what it feels like. I'm not saying she's faking it because, she's sitting there like, twirling her mustache and going, hee hee hee. No, I just think that she has to play the role of the grieving wife. And that's the role that she's playing right now. You see what I'm saying? That's the vibe I'm getting. Yes, I do think that she is grieving for sure. But I think there are times when she's on the microphone that maybe she doesn't feel like grieving. Maybe she just wants to talk to people, just talk. But she has to play the role of the grieving wife right now. You see what I'm saying? The grieving widow. She has to play that role right now. Until whenever they see fit, the powers that be see fit for her to not be holding the napkin, like the tissue up under her eyes every so often, like what she's been doing. You see what I'm saying? I believe that she is grieving, but I don't think she's always just waterworks every day, and that doesn't mean anything bad. I just think that everyone goes through, we're human, there are days that it's like, I'm really tired. I don't feel like playing the grieving mother, but I have to play it right now. I have to turn that on. You know what I mean? That's just the vibe I'm seeing. Now, as far as her saying anything about the investigation, I don't think she ever will say anything about the investigation. Why? Because she has now taken the spot of Charlie Kirk. You realize that, right? And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying that that's something that's very true. She has taken over the spot of Charlie Kirk. She is now the face of Charlie Kirk, or she is the face of Turning Point USA now, for the most part. So again, I don't think is going to be going after Trump in that way. She's too much in his pocket. So I don't think that she's going to be going out of her way to be like, yeah, Trump, where's the news? What's up? What's up with that? You got any updates, Trump? I don't think she's going to be doing that. I just really don't. If she does, it'll be a surprise. But you saw that photo, or you saw that video. You saw the memorial. How she was holding up on him and all that. Like it was like the cover to a romance novel. It was disturbing to me. It's very odd how she was kind of holding him and everything. And to me, it's like, I get it. Okay, fine. But it just optically seemed weird, So now, because she is the CEO, she has taken over his spot. She has the job. She is taking over his voice. She is now sitting at the right hand or the left, whatever. She is sitting right there next to Trump now. She took over Charlie Kirk's spot. And God knows what else could happen here. Shoot, she might run for president. You never know. Joanne, the genius. What's up? Thank you so much for the love. God bless you, Pascal, from the UK. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I've just donated to your GoFundMe. Oh, thank you. You're a proper fella. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. You're the dog's bollocks. That's a new one for me. What the hell does that mean? You're the dog's bollocks. Wow. Okay. I've never heard that before, but it kind of like the balls. Kind of like the balls? No, you're kind of like the bee's knees. The dog's bollocks. That's a new one for me. I need to write that one down. You're the dog's bollocks. I'm writing that down. I don't want to forget that. That's a new one for me. Yeah, I know. It's dog balls. Yeah. So you're just calling me testicles. Dog testicles. Thanks. No, I'm kidding. But I thank you. Is that it? I'm hoping is that a compliment? I'm assuming that's a compliment, like the bee's knees. You know what I mean? I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Okay. So yeah. So when it comes to the so what it the dog's balls. Yep. The dog's balls. Yes. Just swinging. Just swaying. You know what I mean? So when it comes to Erica Kirk, right? Asking, the possibility of her doing any of that, I doubt it. I think she's going to be very, very quiet. Okay. Oh, thank you, Patty. So you're the dog's bollocks is a British slang phrase meaning you are the best, excellent, or top tier. Yes. Yes, love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I figured that she was meaning that as a nice thing, obviously. She's like, I donated. You're the dog's balls. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, no one is doing that. Like, I donated. You ain't nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I doubt that, right? But I appreciate that. Top tier. The dog's bollocks. Hear ye, hear ye. The dog's bollocks has entered the room. Yes. Forever dawned as Pascal, the dog's bollocks. Yes. Top pedigree. Quite the canine. Nothing but the dog in me? All right. But anyway, here's the thing. Erica Kirk. She's not going to go and try to push any buttons, ruffle any feathers, because I think she's busy grieving. And I think she's busy doing these tours and trying to expand. She's trying to expand Turning Point USA. And they are obviously trying to use this as best as they can, the demise of Charlie Kirk, to turn this into something bigger. Not only just to get a little bit of money and a little bit of following. They want this to be a worldwide, global takeover of Turning Point USA. That's what they want. I think that's the other reason why I think this is the other reason why she said something that I don't think is true when she said, I forgive him. I don't believe it. Sorry. I know some people would be like, she's a Christian. But here's the thing. So soon, he pulled the trigger and took out your man. For me, I don't believe it. I could see her saying that a year from now. Not weeks. Weeks. You understand that, right? Weeks. And what happened? Some people looked at that and they said, I am so moved from that moment. I think I found Jesus. I think I found Jesus. That's what happened. Some people said they were so moved by her forgiving Tyler Robinson for doing what she did to her man, the father of her children, the sword at her side, her partner, her everything, that they said, I'm buying a Bible right now. I'm not kidding. It worked. What she was trying to do worked. To me, it was shocking. To me, I just can't see myself. If I lost everything that I loved ever, my sword at my side, my best friend, the mother of my children, etc., right? I don't think I'd be very quick to bounce back and say, I forgive the person that took their life. They would take some serious time to process that. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that that means something suspicious or nefarious. I just feel like that was an act. I do. I feel like that part was just there to try to get people to go, I'm moved, I'm donating. And that's pretty much what it was. The whole event was go over to TP USA and make sure you contribute, blah, blah, blah. When you heard from Candace Owens herself, that place, that company, it's been making money. They're doing just fine. They didn't need any more money. They don't need the money. They really don't. Yet, of course, they were saying, hey, give us the money. Now give us some candy, right? We don't have enough. Yet they own the candy store. You see what I'm saying? It's a little interesting. So yeah, very interesting stuff here, guys. Okay, so I say this. What say you? What are your thoughts on this? Because again, to me, I'm not sitting here saying like this is not an attack on Erica Kirk. It's not at all. Not this last part. What I'm saying, all of this that I said about Erica Kirk, it is not. It is just an observation. Okay, it's just an observation. Okay, it's just an observation from what I've seen. And I'm going, okay, how she was maneuvering seemed weird. Does not mean anything nefarious. It was just weird. And I'm just like, is this an instant hustle? Is it 110% genuine? I don't know if all of it was genuine. I think a good portion of it was, but not all of it. Okay. Even you hear from Candace Owens even kind of talk about it a little bit. She didn't say her name and call her name out, specifically, but she did say like Turning Point USA is going to be just fine. They don't need the extra money, but people were just showering them with money. And of course, they're turning Charlie Kirk's name into that, they're trying to immortalize him, right? And they'll continue using his name until they can't use his name anymore, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how everything kind of pans out. The fact that she said, Trump and Trump Jr., where y'all at? And show me the Carfax is very interesting to me too. But one person that does need to step forward and speak out is Kash Patel. Yes, I know, but he does. He needs to stop hopping on planes and going and seeing his girlfriend perform country music and actually get back to figuring out who actually did this. Oh, and like I said, give us the Epstein files. No, I'm glad. Listen, Patel, I'm glad you grabbing you a little bit of booty. Okay. I'm glad you getting it in. All right. I'm glad you found love. All right. Happy day for you. But at the same time, there are too many things going on right now where people are side-eyeing the hell out of you and the FBI. That is not good. He has a girlfriend, yeah. And people are side-eyeing it. And listen, I'm happy for him. But like I said, he's being called out for using taxpayer dollars to fly around with his girl. Yeah. To go see her perform or take her places to perform in specific areas. She's a country singer and all that. Very beautiful. She's got a nice voice, all that, right? But again, it's like, yo, why don't you come back? Focus on what's really needed to be focused on, like the Epstein files and what's really going on with this Charlie Kirk investigation. The other question is Pam Bondi getting laid? Because she doesn't look like she's getting laid. You know what I'm saying? She just looks, like all the time. You don't see that? Like she always looks like she needs to push one out really bad, or like she's constipated. You don't see that? Constipation. Nobody? I'm the only one who sees that? Nobody? Just curious, you know what I mean? Like, I think if, things were flowing better, you feel me? You know, the blood flowing in the body, you know what I'm saying, in all the right places, you know, on a regular basis, you feel me, on a consistent basis, you know, maybe she'd be like, F it. Guys, here's the list. All right, we're done. Here's the truth. Here it is. You know, just some of these guys, they just need to get laid. You know, consensually, I mean, okay, that maybe they'll just see the light. Like, oh my God. What? I've been blind for so long. Release the files. You know? But anyway, guys, just thoughts. That is the show, guys. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Really means a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do me a solid before you head out. All right? First off, don't forget the link. The GoFundMe link is pinned at the top of the chat. It's in the description box down below. Go check it out. If you can contribute, that'd be greatly appreciated. If not, I understand. It's totally cool. No pressure. All right. But also hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. That'd be fantastic. Make sure you do that. Okay. Hit that follow button. Follow on all my platforms. Make sure you are subscribed. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go and check out Pascal Show clips and Pascal Raw. We got some really great content over there as well. So make sure you are subscribed to those. Hit that notification bell. Set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload. That'd be greatly appreciated. Hit that join button down below. Support the channel if you can. You know, check out my Patreon and, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. All right? We got some really great stuff over there. PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys? Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. Stay safe out there, and we'll be talking very, very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.